Welcome to another edition of In the Know. I am your host, Tony Reeves. If you have ever heard the phrase, "If I knew then what I know now," you would understand the importance of gaining knowledge through your various experiences. And you'd also understand the importance of gaining this knowledge from the things that you go through during the course of your life's journey. And the other thing that's important is recognizing that if you had that knowledge and you had the ability to share that knowledge with your younger self, how much further you would be along. Well, today, I'm going to start sharing with you the knowledge that I have gained over my life's journey with a series titled Life After College. The series will take you through the various turns, detours, and redirects that's taught me the lessons that I have learned. And I hope my experiences will help you. And to kick things off, I'm going to share with you my first chapter of Life After College, talking about the week before graduation from college. And I call this chapter Facing Reality. Every student who attends college or university comes to their school with a goal in mind, and I was no different. When I arrived at the University of Tampa in 1987, I came there with two goals in mind. One, get a biology degree with a 3.5 GPA so that I can get admitted into medical school. Number two, get commissioned as a United States Army officer and be assigned to active duty. And let me tell you that as I started my college career, everything I did put me on track to make sure that I achieved my goals. I enrolled in Army ROTC. I performed well academically my first semester. Everything was on schedule. Now, unfortunately, like many college students, I faced a few hurdles along the way. A few tough semesters, a few bad grades, some tension in Army ROTC. However, despite the hurdles, I still remained on track to accomplish my goals. Or so I thought. Which brings me to April 28th, 1991. This date, for all purposes, was a huge milestone. I had just completed my last final in my major. I had completed all my requirements for commissioning as a United States Army officer on May 3rd. I was making plans for my family to arrive for graduation, which was going to be held on May 4th. Everything about my experience at the University of Tampa was coming to a satisfying end, and I was thoroughly excited. And then, as I was caught up in the excitement, I came to a reality. With less than 8 days before I would have to check out of the university for the last time, I had realized something. I had not completed my goals. And you're probably wondering, well, wait a minute, what are you saying? Well, let's take the two goals that I laid out. First goal was to get a biology degree with a 3.5 GPA so I could get into medical school. I was getting a degree in biology, but my GPA was not 3.5. It was 2.0. And with a 2.0 GPA, I had convinced myself that there was no way I was going to get accepted into medical school. With that GPA, I had convinced myself that there was no pathway for me to become a doctor. I did not even bother asking anyone anything about alternative pathways to become a doctor, not with a 2.0 GPA. So even though I was getting a degree in biology, I was not going to medical school. So I did not achieve that goal. So what about the military? Well, I was getting commissioned. I was going to be commissioned as a United States Army officer. However, I wasn't going on active duty. I was getting commissioned to the United States Army Reserves. I do not know what I did or did not do that impacted my chances of going on active duty. I'm sure if I scored higher in different areas or volunteered for more activities in ROTC, I probably would have had a different outcome. Unfortunately, I never asked anyone. I didn't talk to anybody about what I could do that would help me change my path from reserve to active duty. I didn't think there were any opportunities for me to serve on active duty. And regardless, after 4 years of ROTC, I had decided that I obviously hadn't done enough. to justify me being on active duty. So I didn't think there was any need for me to talk to anyone about options. So with that, even though I was being commissioned in the United States Army, I was going into the reserves and not on active duty. So I did not achieve that goal. So while now we're at the conclusion of my college career and I should be getting excited about enjoying the accomplishments of completing my degree and getting ready for my commissioning, I could not get over the sinking feeling of two very scary truths. One, I did not accomplish the goals that I'd come to the university to achieve. And two, I had no plans for the future. Now, the first truth was very sobering. See, when I arrived in college, I had convinced myself that my pathway to success was through one or both of these tracks, medical school or active duty officer. Either way, I had convinced myself that I was more than capable of achieving either or both. So with graduation, commencement, and officer commissioning a few days away, I was facing that first truth. I didn't achieve that goal. And it was this first truth that led me to my second truth. I had no plans for the future. And see, while my first truth about not achieving my goals may have been sobering, having no plans for the future was downright terrifying. With no plans for the future, the option of returning home was a real possibility. And returning home was a possibility I did not want to face. See, I grew up in rural Arkansas, and I love where I came from. My mother raised me in a loving environment. I had a great support network. There was nothing about my experiences growing up in Arkansas that I regretted. So you would probably ask me, with all those positives, why would I not want to go back home? Because in my mind, going back home meant I failed. Going back home meant I was not meant for success. Going back home meant I would never have been able to leave Arkansas. And while all those things can easily be viewed as irrational, in my mind, it didn't matter. Because going back home meant I was a failure. So now, with a few days left before my life as an undergraduate student at the University of Tampa would end, I now had to deal with 6 very distinct facts. 1, I was not going to medical school. 2, I was not going into the military as an active duty officer. 3, I had no car. 4, I had no job. 5, I had no place to stay. And 6, I did not want to return to Arkansas. And so once I evaluated all these facts led me to the very simple question that I had to ask myself. What do I do next? Thank you for tuning in. Tune in for future chapters of Life After College. I am Tony Reeves, and make sure you stay in the know.